Welcome to Y-Voices. I am extremely excited to get back with you guys again. I got a gem in the bag for you. I'm getting ready to tell you guys my long-term play. And you guys need to stay particularly attention to what I'm going to tell you. And then a year from now, you guys look this same video up and see where we at. Okay, see where we at. I've been following this for a while, and I've been waiting to put it in on video because uh, I just like to do the research and just tell you guys what I feel. This is not financial advice. I just tell you guys what I be doing, but I spotted this about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and it's kind of been, I put it in my portfolio, and I watched it for a while, and now I feel like it's time for me to uh, bring it to you guys, and that's none other than the great ticker symbol ASTS. ASTS. If you don't have it in your portfolio, you guys probably need to look at this one. Type it in and start studying. And I think you need to start putting in your portfolio. I'm not going to telling y'all what to do, but I think you need to put in your portfolio. Okay? ASTS. Uh, some might say, well, what does ASTS actually do? Well, ASTS is a space mobile. It's building the first space-based cellular Broadcom network. Okay? Yeah, out of space. Okay? And what I love about this particular company is because they're launching a a new satellite. It's called Bluebird. Okay, it's the Bluebird satellite. Each acting like a giant. What it does is act like a giant cellular tower, but it's in space. Uh, a satellite beams 4G and 5G. Okay, Broadcom directly to from outer space. It beams a satellite from outer space all the way to Earth. Okay, the coverage is in this is remote areas. It's the rural areas, the places that's off the grid. Okay, this is what this company is focusing on, giving the world 5G. Okay, it's like a giant tower in space, and it'll give us better coverage in those rural areas. It'll give us the capability to have better emergency communication, global connective for developing nations. Think about all the nations that don't have, tower structures like the United States as well. With ASTS, it's going to open up to places like India and Africa. They now can get on the internet. Okay, it's opening up the world to communication and knowledge. You guys know that communication is knowledge. And man perish for a lack of knowledge. Okay, but guess what? Everybody's got a phone now. And so your knowledge is in your hand. Okay, AST already has partnership and testing relationship with major telecom players like AT&T, uh, Vodafone and Telus. Yeah, this is not a hype. This is what we call new infrastructure in the space that can communicate with the earth. Okay? And you know me, I always tell you guys, don't just listen to what I say, but dig a little deeper, and go into and find out what the company's about. And definitely, if you're going to invest in the company, you need to know a little about their balance sheet. Okay. Uh, this particular company though is early in the stages, so they're not really profitable yet. Okay, they're not profitable yet. Their financial statement and 10Q and 10K filings show high capital expenditures, which is expected for space infrastructure. Okay, uh, they continue to raise capital and secure partnerships to fund satellite de-employment. Like I told you guys earlier, this is a long-term play. This is something that I want you guys to start buying in the dip. I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm just gonna buy it in the dip every time I see a little bit of see it down. I'm gonna throw a little bit in my portfolio. Buy it in dip. It's a long-term infrastructural play. Similar, it's kind of similar to, like, what Tesla did and Amazon did and SpaceX did. These companies, all of them at first, if you study them like I did, they burn cash before they dominated the industry. And this one right here is they're doing the same thing. They're burning cash, and they're growing and they're expanding in space. And they're way ahead of everybody else in this particular area. This is what I call my long-term play right here. And some would say, well, is this company scaling up? Absolutely. This company is scaling up. And they're scaling up, not only scaling up, but they're scaling up aggressively. AST is rolling out multiple Bluebird satellites. Have you guys heard about the Bluebird satellites? Huh? They're more advanced satellites. They're a little bit more smaller, but you can put them in a lot of places at once. They're called the Bluebird satellites. They're rolling them out right now. Okay. Their quarterly report shows ongoing expansion in the satellite manufacturing, and they're now launching new plans. Okay, they're partnering with global telecom carriers to integrate their space-based services into national networks. Analysts expect significant revenue and growth as commercial services begin. That's what all the analysts is expecting right now. They're expecting this. They're not expecting small revenue, but they're expecting significant growth in commercial services as they begin. So, what the future look like for this company, ASTS? Glad you asked. ASTS, Space Mobile. If it succeeds, they won't just be another tech company. They'll be the global backbone of mobile connective. Uh, they'll be the backbone for mobile connections throughout the whole world. And here's what the future could hold. for this particular company, ASTS? Well, they're going to bring to the world, for the first time worldwide, 5G coverage, even in places with zero infrastructure. Right now our infrastructure is, we got the cellular towers, you know, placed all over America and throughout the world, and that's how we communicate. But since they're doing it from space, they'll be able to connect people with their Wi-Fi and computers where there's places where there's no towers, which is huge. Uh, and when they do that, guess what happens? You can expect billions of potential new users. Okay, because every smartphone becomes uh, a place where people can learn and grow. Okay, this company here, uh, as they grow, they expect more massive telecom partnerships. Okay, their reoccurring revenue from carriers in different governments is going to grow if you own this particular company right now, ASTS. And most and and they have what you call a moat. Some of you guys say, well, what is a moat? Well, a moat is something that you do that nobody else do. You got your own little niche, okay? A moat that nearly impossible to cop. Their moat is nearly impossible to copy. Ain't gonna be no knockoff on this because they're building this network in space. And since they building their network in space, this is not easy to copy, guys. This is why this type of company needs to be in your portfolio. I tell you guys, buy it on the dip. Keep buying it on the dip. And I'm going to get into the charts in just a little bit. Start telling you guys where to start buying this. And then when you see it go down, put a little bit in your portfolio. you know. And I promise you guys, we're looking 5 to 10 years out, especially when we get past the war. If we get past the war, they need to figure that out. Uh, you know, the Senate and the Congress, and they need to step in and do what they need to do so we can, as a nation and as a people, as human beings, we can grow and make everybody's life more enjoyable. So, to my young investors, I want you guys to stay attentive. I want you guys to pay attention to this company, ASTS. Write it down, uh, you know, and I want you guys to watch this company, you know. I want you guys to take a look at what this company do over the next year because this company is on the leading edge of what we call innovation. Okay, this is a disruptive company because once they start doing everything out of space, then all these million and billion-dollar towers that we're building really one day is going to become obsolete when you think about it because of the Bluebird satellites that they're now launching out there. Okay, uh, and the company, I want y'all to think about this company is solving. They're solving real problems. It's a real problem. Sometimes I go down into the country and I can't get no coverage. Okay, because I'm down in a rural area. Well, with ASTS, being the satellite in space, I'll be able to get coverage. Okay. And my final message to you guys today is I want to let all you young adults know that you are the generation that will live in a fully connected world. We can get past these wars and stuff, and these little cheap games that the politician is playing. If we can get past that, The world as we know it one day will be a fully connected world. In other words, I can speak to my brother in Africa, or my sister in Spain, or my sister over there in Germany. I'll be able to speak to them, and from a satellite beam coming from space down. Okay, so I want to tell you guys today, don't just use the future. I want my young adults, I want you guys to start understanding it. I want you guys to start investing in it. AST is not a quick flip. This is what I call my long-term vision for the world. A long-term vision are where generation wealth is built. I want you guys to look into the future. And if you guys don't have this particular stock in your phone, it's a young company, but I think this is one that's going to make a huge difference in your future. I'm just looking 2 years out, man. 1 to 2 years out, man. This thing is going to be up and going. And I want you guys to get in early. Okay, get in early. Every time you can buy it on the dip, I want you guys to buy it on the dip. Now I just want to get into the charts. You guys know I always kind of like to get into the charts a little bit. If I can get into the charts here and you guys can see, let's always take you guys back year to date. Year to date, if you look at the charts, a year ago it was like 129.89 a share. I always tell you guys can buy fractional shares. Your 20 bucks here, your 30 bucks here. Buy the fractional shares in this, okay? If you can buy a whole share, buy a fractional share till you get a whole share. Keep this in. We still got time, okay, to get in this, okay? But if you look a year to date ago, we got it at 129.80 right up here. Right now we're sitting at 86.65, 86.35. Okay, and I always tell you guys we need to go back. We're gonna just go back from a year to date. We're gonna go back 6 months ago. 6 months ago, ooh, we saw it down here at $38.71. But it climbed back up. It climbed the ladder. It climbed the ladder. It went back up, as you guys can see. Man, I wish I could have. I wish I would have got in bound down here, but I ain't worried about it because this is new innovation. This is outer space connectability to the future. Okay, it dropped up here. It closed all up to 101, and then it dropped all the way back down. Okay, to $48 back then, and then from there, I'm talking 6 months out, it climbed all the way up to 125. Okay, then here we are today, $86.43. We're going to go back 3 months ago. 3 months ago, and then you had another dip back here. You guys could have got it at $61.26. We still see the all-time high up here. Again, this is where we are right now, $86, $86. Okay, 1 month ago, you guys could have got it a month ago, about $75. You see how it keeps going? It dropped back down to 75. We saw it at 40. We saw it at 60. Y'all see another dip down to 75. Okay, it rose all the way up to 106 this time, and then it dropped back down to where we are right now. And then we're gonna look at the 5-day. 5 days ago. Oh, 5 days ago. Well, we saw a high up here 3 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. If you're just looking at the chart from right now, okay, it was up at $93. Okay, but guess what happened? Bad news started coming and it dropped down to $83.91 was a low down there, and then we saw. It tried to rally again. It came up to $92.43, and it went into the weekend as a low of, what is that, 85.60. 71. And then I always like to tell y'all, bring y'all all the way up to date. This was last Friday before we went into the weekend. It rallied and it took a jump. Y'all see that? It jumped up to 92.40. And then as the day went on last Friday, this is Sunday right now, 2 days later, uh, you guys saw that the Bears came in town and they pushed it all the way down. And let's just move it on out. They pushed it all the way down to a low of, I thought I saw $80 some down here. Let me see. Oh, $86.06. Y'all see that right there? Let me go ahead and put a little line there so y'all can see that one right there. 86.06. That was a low. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring it on out. And we're gonna go, and it went from 86.06 and it just kind of rallied a little bit at the end of the day. It dropped down to a low of 85.66 that day. You guys remember, because we are in a war. It dropped down to 85.06 and it ended the day at 86.36. 86.36 is what it ended the day at. 86.36. Guys, we're in a war. It's been going sideways all over the weekend. This is where we are right now. It's just been running sideways. And so since it ended at 86, I would just say to a young investor that's getting started to write this one down. And when you guys see it around 82 bucks or below, 83 bucks or below, put a little bit in your portfolio, okay? Just keep a little bit in your portfolio, but keep this in mind that you're buying this one on the dip. And this is really just buying into the future, because I think ASTS is going to be huge in the future. In the future, it's going to be huge. This is what Warren Buffett taught us. He told us that, hey, when the market is fearful, this is the time for us to really be greedy, And just talk to you guys. I want y'all to know right now, as we just pull up the sentiment of the market, as you guys can see, we sitting at 25 right here. The market is fearful. Yeah, that's why I say if you guys can catch it at 82 bucks, and below that, hey, it might drop down here to 20 next week because of the war. And hey, as long as they feel fearful, we're gonna keep buying. And then I promise you guys, once we get bad out of this war and all that, the sentiment of the market is going to change. The market goes up, the market goes down. And when the market goes back up and you guys see them being greedy over here in the red, yeah, they're going to get greedy again. They'll get greedy over here in the red. We've been made a lot of money from down here all the way up here. We're going to make some money, a lot of money in the market is going to be made right there if you guys understand what one of the greatest investors of all time taught us. He said, when the market is fearful, this is time for us to back the truck up, open up the back door, and start loading our truck up with stocks and shares. And then as we drive off and drive into the future, those shares is going to become more valuable and more valuable. And we're going to make a lot of money. I'm not telling you guys what to do. This is not financial advice. But if I was a young investor, this one would be in my focus. This one would be one of the ones that I'll be looking at and buying on the dip right now. Because you guys know well as I know, AI is here. Whether you like it or not, AI is here. Innovation is here. And once they get these new data centers built, once we get past this war, if we get past this war, because nothing is certain, and nobody know what God is doing. But I do know God takes care of his own. So if you like this type of information, when you see this, hit the subscribe button and like. And then just go ahead and share it out to your friends. Let everybody make their own decisions. But I tell you guys, 1 year from now, I want you guys to look back at this video and let it be known that you heard it first on Y-Voices. Talk to you guys soon. I love you guys. The Stockman 4.